Okay, I guess we're live on YouTube. I'll close this one. I don't want an echo. Somebody confirmed that we're live on YouTube. Great, thank you. Welcome to all the YouTube viewers. I don't know how many are there. I guess we'll have more as we go. Let's start. I don't think I need to record it because it's going to be in YouTube. So let me just go. Good morning, traders. Welcome to our weekly outlook. It's on Monday until my holidays or vacations are finished. My vacation will finish by the end of this month, so I guess by early August we'll be back to normal on Sundays. And because Sundays you get more time to look at your charts before the market open, right? On Mondays you tend to miss a whole day, right? Because by the time this is finished, the New York session will have a couple hours and it's gone. So everything will be back to normal once I get back to Dubai, right? Which is going to be at the end of this month, somewhere at the end of this month, early August. I'll be back in Dubai. For those of you who are interested in the course, which will be in September, please send me a Skype message for details of the course and how you can pay. So let me just put this, type this for you. It's MANGAL Mangle 457. Because I do have a lot of requests, and I had a lot of requests, which I told you. You might have been one of the person who called me, send me a message earlier in Skype, and I said, okay, please remind me in August. Well, it's open now. It's open. People are paying. There are people already who are in the group now waiting for that course in September. What is the advantage of getting in early in the group? Well, you get some extra time to look at the recordings of the previous course. You can start looking at those recordings, try to pick up bits and pieces. You might not be able to be good at it because you're not getting the practical parts yet. When we do the course, you get the live session. The same thing you have in recording will be done live, and there may be more to it. We keep adding more to it as we develop what we do. And then you will get the practical sessions. The practical session is much more. It's 4 weeks, right? The practical session is 3 weeks, and the classes are 2 weeks. So you're going to get a lot of training practically where you actually will show your charts and present. So when we teach you, and then you show us what you've learned from that, and then we correct what you're doing, and then we continue with that, and we keep getting practice over and over. So after the courses are finished, you go into a trading room and you start actually showing us what you're doing, how you're doing it, and then we correct you. So you have a lot of experienced people there to help you and correct you. It's a never-ending training. You never stop training and learning. That's the good thing when you're in our group. Now, it's a non-refundable course. So don't get too smart. You come in early, you get all the materials, and then 1 month after you said, hey, can I get a refund? I think I will make it for September. Not going to work. It's non-refundable. Think very hard before you come in, right? Don't get too wise with this thing, right? I've always give people enough time to think. I'm not one of those guys that say, hey, if you take the course right now, you get 50% reduction, but you got to pay right now. I'm not into those nonsense. As a matter of fact, I don't like to even advertise it. Just that I had so much questions and so much people asked for me for the last 3 months that I've been putting them back until August. Now it's open. You can call me. All right, let's go. Let's move on from there. It's non-refundable, so think very hard before you join the course. There is no rush for you to join it. You don't have to if you don't think you're not going to get a benefit from it. If you don't like what I do, don't join. If you think wave analysis is not for you, don't join. If you don't have a year experience, don't join. If you don't have enough capital to trade, don't join, because I will discourage you from doing that, right? There are many reasons why you shouldn't join. There's only one reason why you should join. You really, really want to be a professional trader. That's the only reason why you should join. Right? You really, really want to be a professional. You want to learn how charts actually move, right? Not just guess your way, but you want to figure out how this thing works, right? And if that is your ambition, if you really, really want to be able to read the charts with a very high accuracy, then you should join, right? It will give you the advantage. Let's go. I'm going to close the chat now, so please don't type anything. Wait until the end. I'll take questions. Right? Please don't type it. Wait until the end. I'll take your questions. Let's go. That's our dollar index. Dollar index still in the consolidation downwards. Remember, we said watch this piece at the top there. You're going to get some consolidation. Well, they're consolidating up, and you remember we said this cannot be all the consolidation. If you're following me for the last, that cannot be. So 2 things you'll be watching. You'll be watching for a flat that could be there or a flat that could be here. Well, we broke that one. So there's a good chance we will get some more downside within this. Somewhere in here, we might get a running flat or an expanding flat. And I do think it might go back. We cannot confirm that this one will go back up, but there's a very good chance for that. So you will still get some more moves to the downside here. And by then we will have enough reasons to decide whether this is changing direction to the upside. So on the 4 hour, it's still downside. We don't have any signs of upside. You can see this is still going to go down. So any correction you sell, any correction you sell, basically, right? It's that easy. Go to the 1 hour. You can look for 1 hour corrections. I wouldn't advise to sell 1 hour flags now because you're very low. You have to wait for a bigger correction. But selling 1 hour flags all down this was a good idea. Euro, still in the buy, right? There is a chance that it might go more up. Same thing here, right? The chances are you're going to get a flat here. There's chances you're going to get a flat there. You're still within this bigger sideways move, right? I still think there is a good chance you might get one more down here and then up, right? I don't think they're going to just continue to go up. Watch this piece. It's getting, weak in terms of the pattern that is completing at the top there. There's a pattern that's completing there, so you might get a pullback. We're still looking for whether this is the contracting flat or whether we're looking for a running flat somewhere here and then go back up. One of those two patterns would play out. Watch this area when it comes here because that would complete this flat pattern, right? And then we can look for more downside. I don't think this is the turn to the upside. It does not have, it's not the big turn to the upside. You're just in a big daily consolidation. This is pretty normal. You've had one of that at the top here already, right? See those big ones? Remember when we tell you that is just a consolidation for downside because you've got a sharp move here? Well, exactly what we're getting here. It's a bigger consolidation for downside. Of course, it's going to go up some more, so you may have some buy opportunity this week. Let's see. I would not advise you to buy into that. You notice I have those two lines there. That means, well, that's a very small running flat. That means this might just go a little more up. Wait for a deeper pullback and then look for buy setup. Wait for a flag or a structure here that gives you a good buy setup. Because right now you don't have one. Can you get a sell setup for a deeper pullback? Possible. If you get a sell setup, you'll have to wait for it to start going down and then look for your sell setup. Right now you don't have one. So trading the euro right now is not a good thing to do. If it's a news event that you think could spike it up very fast to the upside, well, then you might want. We have news at 9 p.m. At 9 a.m., that is an hour from now. And we have news at, I think, Draghi speak. Sorry, not Draghi. So some news event coming up there, right? So watch the news event. What is it? And then you might, if you know how to trade in the news event, you might be able to do that. Expanding. We're not discussing the patterns. I'm just giving you an idea what pattern I think it is. We're not going into discussions of, whether you have the same one I have. It doesn't matter, right? Just look at whatever you have and, go with that if you think that works. We do that mostly in classes. It's only in the classes I correct the patterns my traders have. We don't discuss them here, right? Let's go. Sorry, euros. Pound. I'll have to move some of those downwards. I kept them up for a reason, right? So pound actually is moving up. So remember I told you watch this here, right? When it was going down, that is, once you see those patterns, you kind of get a correction upwards. And that's what we're getting. Pound is also in a daily correction if you look at it. Now, you got to be careful with the pound. Remember I said euro might not be going up. But pound has a very good chance of going up. Let's go back to the weekly. Remember when we were looking at this? And I want all of you to remember this because you may have to go back to this timeline, right? When it was September, I think last year when everybody was freaking out, right? And I was telling them this thing has to come back. Two things you need to know about wave patterns. And this is what gives you confidence in trading. Remember when this was going down and it was doing this, we were saying, guys, be careful. This is a good chance that we might be going to retest the low. There's a good chance for that because as long as we had this pattern in play, there was a good chance for this to come back and retest the low before they go up, right? And then it actually broke to the upside. Well, what we missed in here was a contracting flat. There was a bigger running flat here, but we're not going to go into that. And then it kept going up and everybody was freaking out when that happened. Oh my God, look, this thing is going up and this guy doesn't have any clue. He's saying it's going to go down. I was like, okay, so what? It went up a little. And I said to everybody, remember, if this is going to go up, you need two things to happen. You need this to make a correction and then go. Or you need it to come and retest the low and then go. Those are the two things will always happen if it's going to go. It's never going to continue to go up from here. That's not how pattern moves, right? And if you understand that, then if you were, let's say you were in a sell from here, you didn't have to freak out because you know you're going to get back to break even. Many of you may not be able to do that, and then you shouldn't do it. But actually, I did that. That's why I'm telling you about it, because I kept myself from there, and you can come out of that self a positive or break even. Now you have to have the confidence I have to do that. because you have to know, you have to be pretty sure that this pattern is going to come back. But I did that mostly as a test because we're testing some strategies on a account that I'm trading. Not that we didn't know what we were doing. We're pretty much very sure what we were doing, and we're testing that strategy for longer term trading, not for short term trading. But just to show you how it works, right? And that's exactly what I told my investor. This is what we are expecting it to do, and it's going to come back here. You don't need to freak out about it. We'll deal with that. Now, what happens here? We remember we have this pattern, and that could be kind of enough for it to take off again, especially if you're in a trending market. If this market is going to go up very much more, we have a pattern here that is kind of like, you can use that as a complete correction to go. Now, I don't think that's a complete correction. Very often they will make a more complex correction here, which means you might see this come back here, come back to, and then take off, getting a much more bigger pattern there. That happens very often, not always, which means the pattern, instead of a simple tree, becomes a double and a triple tree pattern, a more complex situation. Now, is this the turn? I'll go back to what I just told you. Remember, if it is going to go up, it never starts and just take off like a rocket and don't come back. If this is the turn, we would have to see this impulse go up. We'd have to see it make a 4-hour or a daily correction here. And if you get this, that's your long-term buy. That becomes your long-term buy. Until you have that, anything is possible. This thing could be just a simple running flat and then you go down. Now, the downside is what we're looking for. We are not confirming an upside as yet. We're confirming we're still in the downtrend because we haven't, this move has to correct itself. At any point, that move will have to make a correction and drop. So now at this point, I'm pretty sure a lot of you are confused already. What the hell is he saying? He's saying it's going to go up or he's saying it's going to go down? Right? I get this question very often from people. I'm not clear what you meant by that. Just after the webinar, people right now, I was in the webinar and you were talking about the punk probably could go up. And then you said you went to the lower time frame and you said it could go down. What happened? That's what you call wave analysis. Each time frame has its own pattern. And sometimes one pattern needs to complete before the other pattern could take. So what we need to do is confirm what is happening in here. If this is a correction for downside, you will get the setup as soon as this finishes what it's doing there. You get a setup for a sell, right? If this is going to continue to go up, which is the bigger pattern is in play for upside, you would have to wait for this to correct here to prove the upside. If you're confused about that, you definitely need to take the class in September. If you think you got an idea what I'm saying, but you're not sure how this works, you need to take the course in September, because this is gonna really teach you how to trade. So in the 4-hour, what we're doing, we're looking at this up move, and if you notice here, you had a very nice running flat. Remember last week? I think that was in my class already. Last week we were going up. I said to my student, wait for this. If you're going to sell, you got to wait for a flag there to confirm sell, because we haven't have anything to match this. And that means we might be looking at a running flat there. Now, here's your problem. If this is your full correction, right? If that was a contracting flat, then this is actually starting the bigger correction or the move to the upside. If this is part of the whole correction, at some point here, we're going to get, they may just go up somewhere and then you're going to get a fast move down, a flat, and then you go. So on a lower time frame, this is what you need. On a higher time frame, you need this for upside. So if you're not trading this right now because you're not sure what it's going to do, that's okay. You don't need to be in the trade right now. If you're in a buy grade, move your stops, stay with it. If you're looking for shorter term entry points, you wouldn't have got any here because this we were still looking for the sell. Once it take off, you wouldn't have got any here too, because that actually gapped and come down. Now you could get one if they do this. You're going to get a shorter term trade back to the top on the daily. Remember, I showed you this top here, this area here where we're looking for. Right, I think you can see. Let me just bring it back in the daily. You'll be watching when it comes to this area. See that area? So you might get some short-term trade to the upside if you wait for this to come back all the way here and then buy. Well, you just can't wait for it to come back and then buy. You have to see that there's a specific pattern that gives you a buy setup. It's every time you're going to get a trade. If everybody keep your, can you guys keep your questions to the end? It's going to be, yeah, if it's difficult for you, stay away until you learn to do this, right? So Even if this comes down like this, that's not enough of a reason to buy. That's just giving you a setup. You have to have a strategy, how and when you're going to enter, at what point you're going to enter, where you should put a stop and all of that. And that's everything. That's more of what we teach you, not just understanding the patterns and reading it, but all that stuff. So let's go. Aussie. Aussie, I told you it's going to go up. We were pretty sure Aussie is going to go up. We looked at this pattern, said even if they break this low, they're going to go up. Even if they break the daily low, even if they break that low, they're going to go up because they just have to go up. That's how the pattern moves, right? So Aussie is going up and it's going up pretty aggressively. It's not going up like this, if you notice. It's actually going up pretty fast. You got to watch this for breakout. If this breaks out, we're going to go retest those stops. Let me bring that back down on the weekly and show you. Good. So if we break this structure out here, there will be a small correction and we are going to go test those stops again, right? Now, I'm not sure they're going to do that. So we cannot confirm that until we get that pattern on a lower time frame. In the lower time frame, we don't have that. We have up moves, but you got to be careful as they come to the trend line, right? As they come to this here, not exactly the trend line. Trend line sounds insignificant as to stopping the chart, right? I hear people say this, and I think it was funny. I was watching in Facebook when one guy said, "Hey, you see how my 200 or my 20 moving average held the charts?" And I was like, hey, you know that thing doesn't stop the chart, right? The chart doesn't see your 20 period moving average or your 200 period moving average or your trend lines or your support, whatever you have nonsense you have there. The chart is not looking at that. It's not like everybody, hey, this guy has a trend line there, let's stop it there, right? Those are indications. Those are just things that tells you whether you're still in the same pattern or not when we draw the lines. The line is just to give me an indication. Am I still in that pattern or am I breaking out of that pattern to create a different pattern? That's all it's there for. It's not to say, hey, they will respect my trend line when they get there. One guy actually was arguing me. He said, that's your support and resistance point. I was like, I don't have that. There is no support and resistance in the chart. Right? You're not building anything here for support and resistance. It's just moving and that's it. So when it breaks out of that, then I would look at that pattern and said, okay, is it creating a different pattern? That's the only reason the line is there for, to tell me when I'm breaking out of the pattern that I have right now forming. That does not change the direction because they can break out and come right back down. Breaking out of trend line does not mean you're changing your directions. It just means that you had a specific pattern you're looking at, and now you may be looking at a different pattern. Is it the bigger correction? Is it the turn to the upside, right? All of these are, it's not that simple. I'm trying to give you my best as I can, but it's not that simple. And traders who are new think it's very simple. Oh, it broke the trend line, we should buy. No, you shouldn't, right? Always is what pattern you're looking at on all different time frames. So if you want to buy here, there was a buy setup here. If you remember that, we had that last week. And there is a buy setup that could happen here if they pull back. So you'll have to, if you're going to buy, you'll have to wait for them to come back here to buy. Otherwise, you're going to end up buying at the top of a structure, right? Right now, you're going to be buying at the top of a structure. You had a buy setup here. You had a buy setup here. You could wait for this to come back here and give you a buy setup. If it falls, great. You're going to look for your sell setup, right? I don't think it's going to fall now. They may go up a little more before they come down. New Zealand was absolutely the buy. I've been saying this for a number of weeks, that New Zealand just has to go up back. It cannot go down. And just to prove my point, I kept these drawings here for you. Two ways we're going to look at New Zealand, right? I put those drawings and I told you the two options we're going to have. I haven't changed them. They're still there. First one, we weren't expecting it to break this. That means we'll be looking at a regular flat here until we come back here and then downside. That would have been the first option. Once they break this, then you still have the two options. This could still be a running flat, and then we go down. Or this is your whole correction. This entire piece here, sorry, is your whole correction. We go up, make a new high, and then we start falling, right? So which of those two options is going to happen? Is this pattern complete already at this level? Is this a complete pattern at this level? If that's the top of the whole structure, then we need to know whether this is a three-wave and down. If this whole thing is incorporated as a bigger correction, which means we will have to go retest the top and then come down. In either of those patterns, you're expecting an up move. I stress that as much as I can. If you're going to buy anything, buy the New Zealand because it is definitely going to go up. That was like 99.9%. New Zealand has to go up, right? Because that's how patterns behave. And you remember, I never said anything about the news, you know. I didn't say, okay, watch for FOMC, watch what they're going to say non-farm payroll, or watch what they're going to say in New Zealand. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what happened in those news events. You'll get a little spike up or down, and that's it. The market will continue to do what it's doing, right? And that's what it does, right? If you understand how the market behaves, the news events are not that important. So they only use those moments to move the market. You're getting an up move, that was your perfect buy setup. You probably could look for a second buy setup here, but I don't like to encourage that buy setup when you're so high. I would advise you wait for a 4-hour pullback and then go. So you need a 4-hour correction like that, a 4-hour correction, maybe a bigger one, something, and then go. Because if you're going to buy in the 1-hour one, most of you might end up falling into a 4-hour correction, which is something like this, right? There was a buy here, but many of you may not be able to trade that because it's a kind of a running flat, a small running flat. You may want this to come back here and then look for that trade up. I still think there's a lot more upside in this one. Now, if I'm wrong about that and they're going to drop more, here's what you need to do, right? Remember, even if you make the forecast, you're still looking for that confirmation, and you had the confirmation here, right? So what would be, okay, they're going to drop. So this is not going to drop because that cannot be a corrective structure. It's probably going to come down like this, go back like that, and then you're going to get a drop. That would confirm to me that, okay, they're making a different structure than I thought I was looking at. And I'm still going to expect the upside. But now, instead of expecting the upside to go up all the way to the top, what I'm going to look for is a long, drawn-out running flat, right? Like the Euro Oz had, which means this move keeps going down much more. This moves here. If they make a flat in here and go, this move will continue to do this, and then you'll get something like this, and it's going to fall. Now I would be looking for this pattern. So that just will indicate that it's still making a correction, but now the correction is not going to make a regular flat as I'm looking for, but a long drawn-out running flat and then continue to the downside. And that's what you need to know. When you're in it looking for a certain pattern, and we're just expecting or anticipating a certain pattern, is it going to make that pattern, or is it going to make a different pattern? As the pieces are put into places, you can pretty much see which pattern you're getting. One out of the 30 different type of corrective structures will form if it's going to continue to go down. Now, we still don't know that because we don't know if we're actually going to go way up to the top. So you're going to buy as long as you have buy setups. Yen seems to be doing what we wanted to do, but not as aggressive as we wanted to do. Remember, I said, watch this top here. This is a sharp move. They're going to do this, and they will have to come down. So if you're in the sell, good, congratulations. If you're not in the sell, there are going to be more sell setups. We're expecting them to tag this low and then up, or come and tag this low and then up. That is because there's a bigger daily pattern also in play that we're looking at. Daily, weekly pattern in play. Probably this one. I've shown you that, right? And remember, both will be up. So it's either they're going to come here and then go up, or they're going to, let me use a different color for this. Probably blue. Or they're going to come here and then up. So you will watch this level. That flat and then upside, or a bigger move to this low and then up. Remember what I said, it's still going to go up. Because we don't know how this pattern is going to play out. Is there a bigger flat in the middle there, or is that over? Is this the end of the move? And this one is going to go up. This piece is what will confirm that for us. When they make this correction here, that will confirm. Either they're going to drop low or they're going to go from here. That would be your confirmation of the upside. So let's go daily. Watch that, watch 4-hour. I'm still expecting more downside. I don't think this one will become a running flat. What does that mean? I don't think they'll break the top. Now, I could be wrong about that because we don't have enough information to be sure about that. But the way it's going on, you know, we're getting a flat here. You can see that. And once they break through this and they go, I'd be pretty confident, okay, we're not going for the running flat. We're going to go down and retest that low first, right? Which means we'll come to this level. Your first trade will be to this level. Now, you got to be careful in the entry here now. This is where traders get it wrong. You got to be careful. There's a sell setup here. Once it breaks this low here, you got to be careful because if it reverses and go back up, you have to get out of the trade and look for your buy here. That means we will be looking for a running flat, not a regular flat. They will definitely break this top, and the structure will be a running flat and then continue to go up. Actually, I'll be happy if it's a running flat, right? Because I'm in the buy. So if it's in a running flat, that just gives me confidence that it's not going to go retest the weekly low, but it's going to go up actually after the correction. As long as it's in a flat pattern like this, it could go right back to where I bought and then go up. So I have to be careful of exiting my buy once I think it's not going to go against me. So my buy is from here. All of you remember my buy is from here, and I'm still in that buy. So my problem is, as long as we haven't broken that up, they can go all the way back to the low and then go up. So I would have to get out of that trade somewhere here if it breaks out. If it doesn't break out and go back up, actually, if it does this little piece here, come down, let me just erase that for you guys. If it just come to this little piece here and then go back up, I'll be pretty happy, right? Because now I'll be looking for running flats. And running flats mean they will never get back at the bottom here. They're probably going to do this and go. Now, I'll be happy about it, but the way I can see the pattern now, it's not going to do that, right? It's not showing me signs that they're going to make a running flat. It looked like more of either a regular flat or all the way back to the bottom. So let's see. Right now, there's a good chance for a sell setup here. I think you guys can see this. Like I said, you got to be careful with this because they can do that, right? They can drop here. So if you're going to take the sell, you'll have to be able to take a break even out of it, right? And that means we'll be going for a running flat. We can't, that's not something you can confirm until it happens, but you have to be aware of it. It's like knowing all the patterns and then watching to see which one will play out of the variations that you can get. CAD, definitely downside. And this is another one I've been warning you about, right? This thing has to come down, right, at some point, because we have this one and there's nothing to match that with as an impulse. So we're coming down and we're going to watch at this level here. We're going to watch that level, right? Somewhere along here. If that is a running flat from somewhere here, they'll start to go back up. Now, if that is the end of the structure and they're dropping because you have this bigger structure, I still think they're going to go back one more up. And I'm pretty sure about that because this structure here, right? This I don't think this is making flat. So we will probably see 1, 2, 3 here, go back up, test the top, and then they can go down if we think this structure will eventually go down, right? That's what we're going to be looking for. So this would definitely go down. Like I said, breaking out of that structure does not mean anything. Breaking out of the trend line as it stands now doesn't mean anything. So go back to the daily. Watch for more sell setups in the 4 hour and the 1 hour. Let's see if we have any sell. There was a good sell setup there. I think that I don't think any one of you got it because they spiked down first and then they went up and then they started to come down. So it might have been I think you could have taken a loss in that or a break-even trade in it. Depends on if you got caught in the spike. If you manage to keep your stop at the right place, you're lucky you're there. There's a good chance you're going to get some correction here, some small corrections, and then we'll probably look for more downside. I still think there's more downside in this one. Right? It's not turning. I don't see the turning point coming. Short term, if you want this trade, this might make a little deeper correction and then probably down. I don't think it's quite interesting right now until they break out of the structure. Swiss also had a downside here in it. See, they made that down there. And on the daily, if we look at the Swiss now, this is what we have. We have a move down here. It broke out. It came back down, went up here. So you're in a pattern that is possible right here. Watch, see if this turns to the upside. If that turns to the upside, you will come back to somewhere around the top there and then go down strong. This would be a B wave in the middle. If this is actually the corrective structure for upside, this one is going to drop much lower, right? And it could even come very low. Go back to the 4 hour. I still think it's going to be more downside rather than upside. So watch this. You might get a short-term correction up, and then you're going to get downside here because I do think that this structure ends here as a flat, and they're going to go down more. If you get a flag here, like you had here, if you sold here or you sold here, you may want to take profit. Wait for another flag, sell. If they go up sharply, I don't think you want to jump into buy so fast. I would be looking for buy structure only when they break out of those stops. Because that would complete one structure, this structure. That would prove the completion of this structure. And upside impulse will, somewhere here, you'll get a flag for buying the upside impulse. That will be the confirmation. Until it gets there, you can't confirm that it's going to go up, actually. But the one all of you should be in is this one. Because I told all of you to buy this, look for buy setups. And this one. Because I told all of you, you need to buy these, right? Everybody were told, watch it when it comes here. We're going to you definitely want to get in that trade because you're probably going to get back all the way to this top and maybe even break that top. And if you're lucky, they will probably go like that. Right? So all of you should be in one of those two trades or maybe in both. Right? This one also, watch it. When we break this low, you start looking for buy setups. Now, is it going to go up? We don't know. Maybe they start repeating the same thing again here that they did here. You see that same thing there? But the worst case scenario is you'll get a break-even trade. If it doesn't do this, which I'm expecting it to do, the worst case scenario is it goes a little more up, starts to come down. You can come out for small profits and repeat the process to the downside and then to the upside and then to the downside, then to the upside, then you'll get another spike up there, right? Because as you can see, that is the pattern they're building. Now, I think there's a very, very good chance we're going way up to the top because we have a complete pattern already. So if you're buying this, good. If you're not buying it, you got to wait. Wait for a flag. Wait, they'll probably make some flags here. They're going to just pull back, go, pull back, go. If they start going too slow, like if you're getting too many pullbacks, like, you know, you see all this little pullback in here. Don't let that bother. If you get a little pullback, you go, pull back, you go, and you know this is not going fast, well, then you want to move your stops or probably even get out of the trade. It's not going to make a big impulse. It's going to be a flat, and they're going to start that up and down move they have in the 4 hour here. They're going to start mostly something like this, like they have in the previous ones, like this, right? They're just going to go up and down. You see 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down again. So you're going to get that kind of pattern. In those patterns, once you know them, you're not going to take losses. You'll either get break-even trade or small profit. This is going to go a little more up, and then they're going to come back for another 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and then they're going to probably do something like this again. You know, you're going to get the same pattern before they go up. So you'll have a lot of chance to buy as you go along. Right? Those are easy ones. You can't jump into them now. You'll have to wait for flags to buy again if you're looking for buy opportunity. And this one you'll have to wait for opportunities to buy. Wait for flags and then you can buy. But these were easy, right? These weren't too hard to trade. Euro-Oz. I should go with the Euro-Oz first. Euro-Oz, we got this in play right now. Let me put it in the daily. Got this sharp move down. Now, there is a chance we might retest the top. Depends on how you look at which running flat you could look at. Watch this level. If they start to break here, buy and hold it for the top. If they don't, if this is the turning point and we're going to come back to retest this low, like that, like this move here. And that would signal the end of the structure there for deeper downside. Then you would have to wait until this proves a flag here, makes a flag, come down some more, make a flag, and then you start selling. If you sold from here, take profit. You want to take profit. There's a good chance we're going to go back up as a flat. You will only buy above the top here. That's where your confirmation for the flat comes in. Once it breaks out, give you a small flag, you can buy. Let's go Euro. That'd be EuroCAD. EuroCAD has a nice sell setup. You may want to wait for this to break. You can see this flag here. And it breaks here, you can look for a sell setup here. If you have a strategy how to trade that, you may look for a sell setup there. Euro New Zealand, this one might be a little difficult. See this curve here? Because that means they're going to probably come here, go back up, and you might get a deeper pullback here before they go. Right? There's a good chance you'll be looking at a much bigger pattern here, something like that. And very likely more downside. It's not the best one to trade right now. Probably stay out of it. It's very complicated in that correction it's in right now. Euro Swiss kept going up, right? We thought this would be the breakout, give you the flag and go there. They just kept going up. Watch that top. Because in the bigger picture, I don't think they're going to go up very far. Once they break, even if they break or don't break the top, they might come back to this level. That would give us a 3-wave pattern, right? Or they could totally fall. If you look at this as the 3-wave pattern up there, I don't think that's a 3-wave pattern. I think they'll come here and go back up first. Right? We have a very, very sharp down move. You get one up, one down, one up. Now, this one up is not very aggressive, so they'll probably come back here. They'll probably go there and then come down. This move here should be aggressive. So you might get something like that. Look for some sell setups. I don't care how far high up they go. I don't think you want to buy at the top there. Buying at the top there is not a good idea right now. Right? You want to wait to see. They was going to give you a good sell setup here, but no flag. They just turned to the upside. Wait for it. It's going to come back. All right, take that out. Wait for the setup. Maybe break the top. Maybe don't break the top. If they don't break the top, they'll have to reverse very fast. give you a flag here, and then you get a sell setup, right? Like these flags, see that? They make a fast move up, they give you a flag, and then you get a trade up. So you'll have to wait for that. Euro pound continues to go up. It's making a correction here. Remember this up move they were in? Once they break out of this, they make that up move. They're making another correction here. So I think we will see one more up move. They'll get one more. Very likely they might break that top. We're anticipating that they should break the top and then come down, because this is a big correction you're in, a big daily correction, big weekly correction, right? See that big sideways move? So I anticipate they would probably do something like this, and then we'll get this move down, something like this to match this whole correction there, right? So there's a good chance you're looking for that. Daily, let's go back to the 4 hour. If you guys keep your messages, keep out to the end, I'll probably look at them, unless it's really urgent. Let me just take a see if I'm missing anything. That's why. Crude oil, please, you need to have patience. We'll get there. Yes, thank you. Can all of you just keep your chat, please, until to the end? I'll take the questions. If it's on one of these charts, what you can do is you can just keep the question. And when I finish, I'll go back and look at the charts again if you have something on the chart specific you wanted to ask. Pangos. Oh, euro yen. We forget the euro yen. Let me go get the euro yen. It's at the top here somewhere. Yeah, euro yen. Euro yen, watch this. It was looking very nice for downside here, and I still think that this is a sharp move, so I still think this at some point might make a running flat and then confirm the upside, because they're breaking out of this structure. So we'll probably see a running flat here, and that will confirm the structure to the upside. So you got to be careful with any buys at the top there now, because unless you get a very good flag, that's not a buy setup. Wait for this to break down. If they break down to the bottom here, then you can start to look for buy setups, right? On the 1 hour, let's see. And the 1 hour, definitely you're waiting for the breakdown. If it continues to go up like this, let's say they want to make a longer running flat, they would have to make a flag like this. And that would confirm your bigger running flat that they're making. Then you get a buy setup. So right now, nothing to do there. Just wait. You're in New Zealand. Oh, we finished that. Euro Chief, Euro Swiss. We finished this one. And I think Euro Pound we finished too. Let's go. We finished the Euro. Let's go to the Pound now. Let me start with the Pound Oz. I think I have the Pound Oz somewhere here. Pound Oz. Definitely some sell setups, 4 hour. Let's see what we have here. It's kind of making a very big correction, right? Because we didn't, remember this one did not break the top. So I still think we are in the correction. We probably made one here. We made one there. We're going to make one down to the bottom here and then probably go up. Make a bigger corrective structure in here. A more complex corrective pattern. It's not downside as yet. Definitely not downside, which means we're going to get more upside on this piece. We're going to get more consolidation in here. And then we're going to get one more upside. And then we'll consider the downside. That would confirm their three-wave structure there. See this one, it might not break the top like this one. You see this one here, it didn't break the low. But you got that three-wave structure. That's a contracting flat. It's rare you get those. So I don't think this one is going to come here, go back there, and then come down. It's possible, but we're always looking for them to break the top, which means we're expecting the regular flat. But it could be one of those contracting flats and they go down. So for now, you're going down, but you're going down as part of the correction, not as an impulse to the downside. So you've got to be careful. What's the difference in trading the impulse? The impulse will probably go very fast, give you good profit. The correction may just, spike down 10 pips, 15 pips, and start reversing pretty fast. Because if you're not sure what pattern is, especially if you're not very, very good at reading the patterns, and you're not sure what patterns you're looking at in all time frames, you might end up getting caught in a sell that just gives you 20 pip profit and then turns to the upside. You didn't manage to take profit, and now you're upside down looking to take a loss, right? So watch this. I still think it's more downside, but you have to be careful. You have to be able to trade this. You notice they drop, they pull back, they drop, they pull back, they drop, and then they will change direction. So you've got to watch this one if you're going to try to sell it. Best thing might be, if you don't have the experience, stay out of this one. A lot of them are in consolidations right now. I mean, bigger consolidations and smaller consolidations. So this one might give you a good sell setup if it breaks out. And I think there's a good chance it's going to break out. I don't see them going right now up. Yeah, they may break down. come down some more. They need to come down some more in the correction. I don't see them breaking out of that top to go right now. So you might get a sell setup somewhere here. If you wait for it, you'll get a sell setup. The buy setup, likely if they do break out and give you a good trade setup, they'll just break the stop and come back. But we think more downside before they go, right? More consolidation in it. Pang Yen, definitely you're going to get one more of this and then it's going to continue to go up. So you're in a long, drawn out, running flat. Come back here and then go. If you manage to get a trade from the top there, not necessarily this is the top, but if you manage to get a trade from where you find the top, I don't think that's the top there as yet. That might be a consolidation for a little more up, which means if this consolidates here, you could get one more spike up and then you get that sharp move down before they go. But that sharp move is going to come because this is definitely doing one of those running flat and then you're going to continue to go up, which means you're going to get some more upside on this, right? We'll watch this come back here and then we're going to watch it go break this top. And then we'll complete this pattern. 1, 2. Let me show you that pattern here so you can see it. See this here? They made a move down, they made this up, then they made this, then they made that, then they do this, and then you finish the move. So you get this pattern in play. Right? You're looking for a similar one. You got a sharp move up, you get a move, and then you do this. You're going to pull back here, finish the move, and then come down. So look for that pattern. That's the one you're probably looking at. On the 1 hour, if they give you a flag, just take the trade. Short term, very short term, take profit. If they come down very sharp, look for the buy setup. Punkad looks like it's making an attempt to the downside. You've got to move up. You've got a consolidation. You're going up. If you get a little flag here, one more up, flag here, one more up, flag, but then you're going to get this trade. So we've got this. We're getting a correction here, and then we're going to drop. Right? The buys become dangerous because the buys are not going very far. Right? You got to buy. They just go up. They pull back. You got a flat there again. Right? If you make another flat here, which means they do something like this, they go again, you can take that buy, take the profit because they're going to come back down. And eventually, this is going to finish. It could crawl up a lot. They tend to crawl up very much and then drop. Look for the drop. Aussie CAD. Same here. You've got a nice one. You've got one up. You got to pull back. You got one up. You got to pull back. You're going up. You're going to get another pull back here. You're going to get one more up, and then you're going to look for the downside. All the CADs are showing possible downside. Okay? You've got a very sharp move down here. So there's a good chance that this is making a correction. You get one more pullback here, you will have to go retest the top before you come. So you can look for a buy setup here. When they pull back to the downside, look for the buy setup. If you want to look for a sell there, it's dangerous because we don't know how deep this one is going to come, right? We don't know. This might just do this, go back up, do this, go back, then make the deep move and come. So you will want it to come back deep and then look for the buy. Let it come pretty deep. Then you start looking for that buy setup. One more impulse up, then the downside. Aussie yen, 4 hour. This one going up pretty aggressive. So let's see if we started the upside. We could start at the upside because we already complete this pattern. See? They finished that. This could be the start of the upside. Not very aggressive, very slow. They did start that downside very slow too. So look at the 4 hour. If you're not in the trade, and you're likely not in the trade, right? You've got to wait for it to make corrections, make flag, make corrections, and then look for buy setups. Right? If you get that. If this is the start of the upside, it could be the start of the upside because we did make this last impulse down. Right? That doesn't mean they can't drop one more impulse down, but that's unlikely. So we've got to wait for that correction there and then look for the buy. Aussie Chief already broke out. That was a nice buy setup there. Put it in the daily. There's a good chance they're going to go back all the way to this stop, right? So you can keep looking for more buy setups. Put it in the 1 hour. Wait for another flag. Wait for another flag here. It's all in a big correction, right? So wait for that pullback before you get in it. It's a big daily correction. It might be confusing. See this? Very big daily correction. Put in a weekly so you can probably see it. Here's what you have, right? Very big sideways move. We didn't break the top there, but there's a chance that it's the end of a corrective structure you're going. But this is not an aggressive move to the downside. So I think they'll come back here And then we'll see which direction they choose to go, one more up or come one more down, right? I think the one more up is very likely because this looks very corrective. So I think we're going to get one more up from there. So if you get a buy setup, take it. Wait for a pullback, take the buy setup. Wait for the 1 hour, wait for this to pull back here in a correction like this. This is the best buy setup you got. This one was not a buy setup. That's more you're looking for a sharp wave here and then go back. That will give you this flat. And then you can look for your buy setup somewhere here. Aussie, New Zealand, let's see. Okay, this one was a bit of a good one, but you probably have to have an entry order to get in there, right? It just took off. So if you get another correction here, go for a buy. And the bigger picture, we're in this. Let me just show you that. Yeah, we're in this one here, right? And this could go up some more. I think they can go some more before we come down. Huh? There's a likelihood that they will go down because you're in a big, let me just show you that pattern. Look at this one. You had this move down. You got 1, 2, 3. You got this down. We have, I think this might still be 1, but you could look at it as a 1, 2, 3 there. I don't think it's so big. I think they might come back here and then go there before they come to this level. And then totally upside. So then we will complete this whole big corrective structure. They will definitely retest that low. That's when you want to get interested in this pattern. For now, it's not that interested. For now, it's just going to probably do this, come back here, go back to the top, and then come down. It's in the B wave part of it. So, well, what we call the B wave, which means it's very, very corrective. So go to the 1 hour, wait for flags, buy. New Zealand Swiss, wait for breakouts, buy. You're getting a corrective structure there. Wait for breakout or wait for flags in this area and then look for buys. Might be short term, but you still get some bips out of it. Same here. Wait for this to correct and then buy. It's going to give you a flag or something here probably, and then you can look for a buy setup. They have to break this low, make flag before you sell. So that selling is a long way from now, but the buy is very likely. Adian, you may want to watch this because we broke the structure, but we're not going anywhere. And every time they do that, they come back down. You broke out, you make a flat, and you're going, but it's not going aggressive. It's not going very aggressively. It's going very slow. And that means they'll probably fall here and then go back up. So you can look for a very, very big, deep correction in it. Look for the 1 hour. No buy setups, no sell setups. You don't have anything to trade there. So probably leave this, let it do what it's on until you get a very sharp move and then you get correction to buy, or you get a sharp move down and you get correction to sell. When you're in the market is moving like that, you don't want to be in it, right? Because you're likely going to take a loss. Swiss yen, this might be the best one for the buy. If you took this buy here, if you took that buy there, if you took that buy there, and you might get another buy setup. Let's see where it is. Okay, you broke the top, so you got to be careful. You broke the top here. Okay. So wait for reverse, wait for flag, and then look for them to come back here. This could be your trade. That could be a very nice trade. All right, they broke the top. There's a good chance they're going to go for the downside now. Wait for that. You don't have the sell setup. They need to break down, break out of this pattern, give you a flag here, then you look for the sell. CAD Swiss, stay out of this. That thing is miserable. Copper. Copper, now you're getting that bigger correction we're talking about, so you look for buy setups. Remember what I said, it's either going to be a correction to the upside and then downside, or it's going to go retest the top. Either possible, because we only have one move to deal with, that is this one. And either we're looking at this as in 1, 2, 3, and we go back, retest the top, or that was the end of the move, and we're actually going down. So you need a big correction here before you sell. Buys are okay. Every time you're in that setup, you can buy. Worst case is you're going to get a break-even trade. Very often you get some profit. So you had a buy setup here. You're getting a buy setup here. Let them correct, and you'll get another buy setup. You had those similar ones on the downside, right? Now you're getting it on the upside. US oil. Right now looks a little more up. See that? We made the correction. They made this correction here. They look like they're going to break out for one more impulse up. So you can look for short-term buy setups. Short-term buy setups because we broke the daily top, and that means at any point in time they can turn. Remember, this is a running flat we show you. I showed you guys a lot of these running flats, right? You don't see them anywhere else. This is something we actually identified, those types of running flat. It's something we actually identify with those sharp waves. And then we figure out, oh, that was a running flat there, right? You don't see that anywhere else except for when you do it. You got that, and then you look for the upside. That's why this is here. There's a chance you're going to get one more up. You got to be careful with this one because anytime now that they've broken that top, they can turn for a bigger correction, right? And we're in a C wave on the weekly. See that? In the weekly, we're in a C wave because we already had this up move here. We had a big correction in here. You're in this up move. You're still in that same up move, and then you may get a bigger correction anytime here. Right? So it's either a C or a Y wave, most likely. We'll figure it out. So watch for that. You're going to get one more up there. Watch for that. One more up. You can take the buy. We don't know how sharp it's going to go, how far it's going to go. But you got to be careful in that. Once you break that top, the possibility for downside always exists. But right now, we have a pattern that is upside. We have a correction and we're breaking. You got a flag in the making right now in the 1 hour. Yeah, you have a 1 hour flag making right here now, right? Kind of they're building a 1 hour flag here, and then you can get a good trade to the upside. Let's see if UK oil has the same pattern. Not same, but very similar, which means you've got your downside here already. And now you're looking for the upside. Let's go in the 4 hour. Yep, very similar. So you can watch for the breakout and wait for the flag and take the trade. Natural gas looks more downside. This pattern tends to look more downside. They might break to the downside. Just keep an eye on it. Once they look like this, they have a number of options, but all the options are downside because that's a corrective structure. So even if they come back up here, it's still downside. If they break out, it's downside. So you're looking for a sell setup. S&P 500. So we actually thought they were going to do this and then break to the downside, right? But now they're coming up. So you can expect this to retest that one more time, break the top probably, and then give you the sharp move. So this one was coming down, and at this level, we noticed that consolidation. So we're watching to see what that consolidation will give us. All right, so put it on the 4 hour. They actually broke out. You could have got a buy setup once you broke out, probably somewhere here or somewhere lower. If not, don't worry with that. The upside may just give you one more buy setup there, and then you're looking for the big move to the downside. That will happen. And that big move is definitely coming. So let's go. Index also giving you a move. I don't think this one will go retest the top. We don't see that possibility of this retesting the top, but we can see this breaking down one more here. All right, so it might go up a little more, but you can see this coming down rather than upside. They're all in corrections, so they're not going anywhere. They're in big corrections for more upside in the weekly and the monthly. You might get a little move. You might get small moves to buy there, but I think you're going to watch this move here coming. And Nifty, pretty much the same thing. You're going up now. You got this. Remember, once it started to drag, which I'll watch this here. You'll probably do 1, 2, 3. Go back up there, and then you'll get a sharp move. You have to have this sharp move to match it before you go back up. That would be a correction for upside, right? Especially if they break the top. That would confirm the correction for upside. Cover NASDAQ. We'll see if time allows us to do that, because we can't just do, for one person. We have things. So let's DJI. So, okay, this is what we saw in our trading room. We saw this pattern and we said, okay, guys, watch it. We actually put the line to check to see whether we're going to get this one more up. Now, that was a warning sign that you need to be careful here now. Either they consolidate here like this, and if they do that, they confirm downside. That pattern we think is going to make, is not making, but I have confidence in that pattern. I think there's a good chance they're going to go up, retest this top, and then come down, because the pattern is really nice. It looks very good. So what you're going to do in the 1 hour is you're going to look for buy setup. If you get any buy setups, right? They're making a flag here, so you might get one. If they make that, you get the trade. And then you start managing that trade to make sure, you don't take a loss on it. Let's see what else we're going to look at. Let's look at some Bitcoins because a lot of people do come back to some cryptocurrencies, cryptos. So Bitcoin upside. Let me just show you what I was telling you about all the time, right? Nothing, I didn't change anything from this chart. This chart was looking like this weeks and weeks and weeks. Even if they break that low, they are going to go up. So watch this move. They're likely going to go up and they may go slow, but they're coming back to that area. Very high probability of that happening. So you should be in buys. You should be thinking about buying. And you had a lot of buy opportunities. You know, there was one here, there's one here. This is going slow, but as you can see, it's still giving you buy opportunities. You're still getting another opportunity to buy there. Now, if you see them spiking every time like that and you're not getting in a trade, find a strategy how to get in. I can give you a strategy how to get in that, but then you need to, figure out you would not be able to trade it if you don't understand the patterns. So XRP broke out. XRP not going very aggressively. You can just take it off and then wait for another run. This one already broke the low, so I don't think they'll go. They can break it again, but that doesn't change the structure. They're still going to go up, right? So you can either buy long-term and hold, or if you want to buy short-term, you buy, you get out of it, wait for another buy setup, which means at this point here, I'll be doing this. Take out the trade and put an entry order there looking for this one to go up. If it comes down, that will not affect me. Take out the entry order. Look for a breakout of that trade, right? Because it's still going to go up. It's at a low level now, so it's time for them to go up. Pattern is almost completed and, could go up. Zcash, this one give you the downside. They give you the spike, and now we're back in the downside. So what is this doing? I think this could go down some more. I think this is the only one we saw potentially to go down some more, and I do think they can go down some more here. And then you're going to look for buy setups because it will go back up. Put it in the weekly. Okay. It is. Once this comes down here some more, you're going to start to look for that upside. It's going to be a pretty big upside, so you may want to look at it. At least they're going to retest this level for, let's see, 4 hours. Nothing there as yet, so wait. Maybe a short-term sell, that's it. And I think that's about it. I think somebody wanted this one last week or the week before. Let me see if I can look at it. I have it on, so we'll just do it for them. Yeah, it's coming up more. You have to wait. It's more correction to the upside than you'll see for the downside. And let's see. What is the other one? Platinum. I don't have the chart somebody is asking for. And are we, yeah, gold and silver, we completed their buy setups, both of them, and you look for more buy setups. Very few traders are better to forecast. Ethereum, okay, we can look at that next time. And platinum, okay, I can look at platinum for you. NASDAQ, I don't have the NASDAQ on, let's go. Platinum, I think I have platinum on. XPT. Yes, I have platinum. Buys, look for buy setups. We saw those buy setups. I think somebody asked me about this already. You're looking for buy setups, put it to break even and wait to see if it goes. There's a very long-term trade here. Let me just show you in the daily. Right, they may make some corrections, but there's a very long-term trade in the daily there, all the way back to this top. They don't have to tag the top, but they will come very close to it. We're looking at a possible running flat there, and then downside. After they come to this area here, we'll probably see downside. I'll confirm the downside. So keep your eyes on that one. Okay, guys, we are 2 minutes more remaining for that. Let me see what else I can pick from what I have on already. I don't have that. The ones I don't have, and I'm not going to put on new charts right now, right? Let's see if we have. Here's the cat being in a running flat in the 4 hour before downside starting. I can't. I have to look at it to confirm that. That's possible. So, okay, let me remind everybody before everybody goes, and while you're in YouTube, we have created a Skype group for those of you who are living in New York or around New York. And for all of you who would like to meet me on the 22nd of this month, 4 p.m., we will be meeting somewhere. Just send me a Skype message, specifically say, I'm in and around New York, and I would like to meet with the group. It's a whole group of us who are meeting so far. There are 20-something people there already in the group. We don't know how many of them will turn out. So we need all of you who are willing to join. Tell me this week, because we're going to look for a venue depending on how many people are going to turn up. Now, there are many options of what venue, what type of venue, and where the venue should be. You can join that discussion in the group. I'll add you to the Skype group, and you can join the discussion. Just make sure you send me a message. I'm here, and I'm willing to meet with you guys. And it's not only my group; it's a very general thing. It's open for everybody, and you can, if you know another trader friend who would like to come and sit with us, have coffee, and have a discussion about trading, that would be wonderful. Just come meet some people. It's a boring business. You need to make friends, right? So come, you're welcome. Everybody's welcome. The group has about 20 people already. It doesn't matter what size of, how much people coming. We'll find a hall or whatever, or somewhere we'll find to get together and talk a little about trading and drink coffee and meet each other, right? So everybody, if you're interested in the meeting, send me a Skype message and I'll add you to the group. Everybody take care. Thank you for coming. Please help share the videos because as some of you have said already, it's giving you value and I hope you can find more value. If you're interested in the course, send me a Skype message. Make sure you say I'm interested in the course, right? So I'll give you all the details of the course. All of you have a good week. Hope you make a lot of money this week, and I will see all of you next week. See my traders later today. Take care, everybody. Thank you for coming. Bye-bye.